Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank, where I climb the online VGC 17 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Still using the Trick Room team that we've been using. I will change it up pretty soon, but I'm actually going to be in London for the International Championships this weekend, which will be streamed at Pokemon.com/live. And so I'll probably switch things up right when I come back from that event. In the meanwhile, I will try to also pre-record a couple of episodes so you guys still have some content while I am gone for the next couple of days. But yeah, it's been a really fun ride so far. We are climbing our way slowly up the ladder. And hopefully we get some matched up basically with some higher ranking opponents. And yeah, it's been a really fun ride so far. But you know, right now we're just still on the kind of lower end of the ladder. But yeah, still using the same team as always, and as always, if you enjoy Road to Rank, please share your support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. In addition, there's a lot of content I have planned for when I get back from London for the International Championships, so stay tuned for that. It is the final 2 weeks of school left here for me, so I have this week, and then I'm headed to London, and then I have final exams, as we're actually going to find Shady. Could this be the one, the only, the ShadyPenguinn? If that is the case, I'm very excited for this match, because he is from New York, and Shady's got a team here of Whimsicott, Alolan, Ninetales, Mimikyu, which I know he wanted to use, Alolan, Marowak, Arcanine, and Tapu Koko. So, of course, I do think this could be ShadyPenguinn, who is definitely one of the people I look up most to on YouTube, and you know, good friend of mine, and he does some really cool content. So hoping this is him. Really exciting if it is, and maybe he's recording as well. But we'll see here. Kind of scary team composition. You know, people have pointed out, yes, my team is very weak to ice, but there's a reason why I do have a Torkoal specifically for the ice matchup. And I think I might just go with the Trick Room option here. I'm gonna lead a Oranguru for sure, and leading Torkoal isn't the worst idea. But I'm thinking I'd rather go with Oranguru, and I still forgot to put the Life Orb on my Drampa. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I keep on forgetting to do that, wow. But yeah, I'm going to go with Oranguru, and I think Salamence with Torkoal in the back. This game is definitely going to rely on Torkoal, and Drampa as my fourth. Yeah. Because Torkoal with Eruption and Instruct from Oranguru kind of sweeps through everything. And of course, I've got my little buddy, Ditto Jolteon, taking in for the webcam today because I am still recovering from my sickness. Basically just my lip trying to clear things up at this point. But gonna lock in, and we will see how things go. I'm really excited for this matchup. I think Mimikyu is actually one of the best Pokemon, one of the best new Pokemon, and it's got a lot of potential. So, yeah, definitely want to see whether that makes an appearance or not. There are two potential Trick Room users on my opponent's team, and of course, Whimsicott potentially could have Tailwind as well. So I'll probably message Shady afterwards to see if this is actually him or not. Don't know his in-game name. But let's see what's the lead matchup's going to be. Okay, Ninetales and Marowak. I'm okay with this because I get the Intimidate off immediately. And I think I'm actually just going to make the play of switching out into Torkoal. It is a little bit risky because he could go for a Blizzard and a Boomerang into the Salamence slot. But I don't want to sacrifice Salamence just yet, I think. I guess the other concern is even if I get up Trick Room, like my eruptions, I can't just instruct eruption safely, as we saw in previous episodes, because Oranguru is going to be slower than Marowak when Trick Room is up. But yeah, I'm going to make the swap to my Torkoal here. Marowak being intimidated is also great. Normally I can survive a Boomerang anyway. Salamence switching out here indicates that the Ninetales isn't switching out. Ninetales, of course, could be going for an Aura Veil, which would increase my opponent's team's defenses and special defenses. But nope, just launching a Blizzard. So that's okay. I can definitely take that with my Pokemon. Torkoal actually takes more damage than I would have liked, and that is because it is Life Orb. And it's actually going to be Flare Blitz coming out here. So, good play there. That's not going to KO me unless it crits. Oh, wow, that does KO me. The Sun boosted damage there, really helping him out. So, Blizzard being able to double connect, and then that connecting is also just bad news for me. I'm going to bring in Salamence once again. Actually, no, I'm going to bring in Drampa, because I need to knock out the Ninetales right now. But I definitely was not expecting the Flare Blitz knockout there after the Intimidate, because my Oranguru is pretty bulky, so kind of surprised about that. But I guess I'm underestimating Marowak's, basically its sustainability, or its damage output. So that's pretty bad here. I'm just going to go for the Protect and the Heat Wave. I mean, this is kind of obvious. But Ninetales is the bigger threat to my Salamence right now. And this is where things kind of fall apart. I really was expecting to get Trick Room up there. I'm gonna run the damage calc on that because I'm still kind of surprised. But yeah, that's me learning the new Pokemon and the new moves. And of course the sun was up, so it was boosted. But I still thought a Ranger would be bulky enough to take it because of the Intimidate. But yeah, I suppose the sun basically negates the Intimidate boost. And that's a big problem because Torkoal and Drampa are really slow, and my strategy for this game was basically to set up Trick Room and sweep with Torkoal, so I didn't get that off. Good play there to withdraw the Ninetales as well. And it's gonna be Mimikyu coming in, okay. So Boomerang, okay, Marowak actually protects, so I get a free Heat Wave off here basically. Which is okay, but I'm still very concerned, given that there is, of course, a Alolan Ninetales in the back. And if I had Trick Room up here, things would be really great because all I have to do is just Heat Wave, Instruct, Heat Wave, but not the case. So, yeah. Mimikyu's this guy. It's going to be broken here. Shouldn't be too much of a surprise. So he probably doesn't want to set up Trick Room right now because that would actually be beneficial towards me. So I'm actually going to swap out just into Salamence to get another Intimidate off and to go for a Heat Wave here. Basically, I need damage off right now. However, I also need to switch Torkoal out and back in so that I can use it against the Alolan Ninetales. Drampa switching out indicates that nothing's switching out on my opponent's end here. Not much of a surprise. Probably just going to see a Boomerang into the Torkoal slot. But let's see. What does the Mimikyu do? That's the real question. Okay, just going to launch a Play Rough into Salamence. Should be able to survive that with the Intimidate. Yep. It is going to be Boomerang coming out. Boomerang. With 2 Intimidates, yeah, Torkoal actually able to take that with relative ease. I mean, obviously I still take a fair amount of damage, but do get this Heat Wave off. Does double connect at least, so that's something to start with. Okay. It does an okay amount to both Pokemon. I can't let Torkoal get knocked out here. So I'm just going to go for a Flamethrower onto Mimikyu. And I'm actually going to switch out Torkoal because I need to try to win the Weather War. So I'm going to just try to knock out Mimikyu here. But this is really difficult for me. Like, my team kind of relies on setting up Trick Room. And that knockout turn 1 really just caught me off guard. Like, I just wasn't expecting it. So that's me just not knowing my damage calcs too well. And having too much faith in Intimidate. Even though, of course, the sun was up. But, okay, no switch outs or anything here. So Flamethrower is just going to come out. Going to target on the Mimikyu. It should pick up a knockout. Yep. And I assume... Yep, just a Boomerang coming out. So at -2, Drampa should be able to take that okay. Yeah. Also, if the Blizzard missed the Oranguru turn 1, that could have been really good. So Blizzard unfortunately double connecting there for me, despite the sun being up, but I can't really complain too much about that. It is going to be Ninetales coming back in, okay. So I'm obviously going to switch back out into my Torkoal now, so that Blizzard isn't 100% accurate. The question is who to switch out. I think I'm going to switch out Salamence. Do I want to protect here? Because the thing is... yeah. If I switch Drampa out, like, I can't protect. I mean, I could just go for a Flamethrower into the Ninetales slot. He does... you know, he could think I'm Scarfed as well. Let's see. Because if I switch into Torkoal... the question is, what does he do with Marowak? Probably Boomerang into Drampa. I'm gonna just try to go for the knockout onto Ninetales here, though. Also, it kind of comes down to what his last Pokemon is. If it's Tapu Koko, which I think it might be, then it's still gonna be pretty poor positioning. Like, right now, I feel like I've lost the game, but I'm basically playing it out, and I'm not giving up. So Drought's gonna be up. He's just gonna go for the Blizzard. Oh, it does double connect again in the sun. Yeah, and that just knocks out Drampa. So, not going for the 100% accurate ice move there. I'm not sure if he had one or not, and that's definitely unfortunate. That's probably going to be the game, as, yeah, he's just going to target down the Marowak slot. Because if he misses that, then I just knock out the Alolan Ninetales, and Boomerang probably goes into the Alolan, or the Drampa slot, which can take it. But instead, he was able to connect with all his Blizzards outside, and you know, that's kind of a team building fault, right? Like, my team is definitely a little bit weak to ice, and I shouldn't be playing around my opponent missing blizzards. I should be having a more solid strategy. And ultimately, I think I lost this game from the start when I thought I could get up Trick Room and instead Blizzard hit, and Flare Blitz just did more damage than I thought it would. Like, maybe it would have been a better idea just to sacrifice Ninetales, because I'm pretty sure if the Sun Boost isn't up, there's no way that picks up the knockout. I still think that might be a damage roll, but I will have to double check on that after the game. Something like Scarfman's definitely would have helped out here as well, because it would have just outspit and picked up the knockout. But let's see what the last Pokemon was. It was going to be Tapu Koko, so yeah, the matchup still would have been an uphill battle, but with Tapu Koko not having a single target, you know, super offensive attack, I don't know, like, it was definitely doable. But in general, that turn 1 basically made things very difficult for me, as Flamethrower actually just picks up the one-hit knockout, which is absolutely ridiculous. Shadow Bone coming up from Marowak, that will probably pick up the knockout on me, though. Yep. So, pretty much overall lesson in this game, I really needed to get up Trick Room, and I shouldn't have even given my opponent a chance to deny me the Trick Room. The Flare Blitz, basically because it was boosted by the Sun, and obviously Alola Marowak is pretty strong. Like, that was a really good play there. And I just had too much faith in Intimidate, and I was like, okay, if I switch in, then, you know, he'd have to hit his Blizzard and probably get a high damage roll there on Flare Blitz, but not being the case. And instead, I just lost Rangaroo turn 1, and that was really bad, because the strategy was to set up Trick Room. So, didn't execute properly, and as a result, I took a loss there, but I don't mind it too much. You know, one Blizzard miss could have changed things up a little bit there, too, but in general, I don't know. I think, like, maybe I could have led better. Like, it could have just led Torkoal. For our second opponent of the day, we're going to have, I don't even know how to pronounce that, something VGC. We'll just leave it at that. Rocking a team of Tapu Koko, Alolan Marowak, Gyarados, Garchomp, Celesteela, and Alolan Raichu. So, pretty scary team composition here, honestly, and I just got my butt whooped by Alolan Marowak in the last one, so definitely going to want to avoid that this game, if possible. Now, I think the first combination that comes out into mind is the Raichu and the Koko combination, and I think Lilligant Torkoal is honestly not too bad here. So I'm gonna go with those two. Drampa does have the Life Orb now. I did reattach it between the games, so we'll see if that comes into use this game. Drampa's not bad here, I think, but I do want Tapu Bulu for the fact that it does shut down the electric terrain, because I think that might be important. And for the last one, I don't think I'm going to go with the Trick Room option here. I am going to bring Salamence instead. So, let's see. Here, there is basically Intimidate support from my team. Lilligant Torkoal puts on immense pressure right from the start. A Wide Guard from Celesteela, though, always a concern. So, gotta be worried about that. But, yeah, we'll see. Raichu, I guess the Raichu-Koko combination is still pretty scary, too, because Raichu's gonna be super fast. Let's see. I think it's likely we see the okay, yeah. So the Raichu and Gyarados coming out here instead of the Tapu Koko, which makes sense. So I can Sleep Powder immediately, and I do have Heat Wave pressure. Yeah, he could switch Gyarados out into Tapu Koko to get the electric type boost, which I could see happening. If I have Sleep Powder here, Fake Out could be coming up, but that's not too bad. Like, I think Raichu has to attack Torkoal here to put on some pressure. I'm gonna Sleep Powder Gyarados and Heat Wave. Yeah, I like that. Okay, and he is just gonna go for a Fake Out onto Torkoal. Okay, cool. So if I can hit the Sleep Powder, that'd be great. And I do hit it, but let's see if there's any Lumberry potential here on Gyarados. Because I could go for it and then wake up and go for a Taunt, but nope, not the case. Which is really good for me, because now I can just after you Eruption. And there's not very much my opponent can do to stop that this turn. Torkoal didn't really take any damage. I was really fearing like an electric type or a psychic type attack coming out from that Raichu, since Torkoal's base special defense is not that great. But I think here I'll be able to get a lot of damage off, if not just knock out the Raichu if it's not Focus Sashed. Gyarados, not going to take as much damage. But, you know, there's not much a Gyarados can do when, one, it's asleep, and two, the sun is up. And Torkoal's pretty defensive, and Lilligant, you know, can take its attacks relatively well. Although, Ice Fang's typically like the fourth move on it. But, no switch outs here either. Okay, so I would think that maybe that indicates Raichu is sashed, but we'll see. As I am going to be able to just get this near full powered eruption off. No sash on Raichu either. Wow, okay. So Raichu just faints. And Gyarados does manage to wake up here. It's going to go for a waterfall. So it's going to get some damage onto poor Torkoal, but still only around 33%. Yeah, you can see that Torkoal's natural defensive bulk is really coming through right now. You know, it's actually a pretty bulky Pokemon on the defensive spectrum, but its special attacks do so much more damage to it, which is why I was really fearing the Raichu attacks. But the Sun also coming out really handy here. And I actually did confirm between games that that was ShadyPenguinn that we played in the last game, so good game to him. I think he probably recorded it as well, and you know, goes to show that he is honestly a very solid player, and he made some really good moves there. But yeah, that's kind of funny. I remember I actually used Blizzard outside of Hail twice in VGC 2010, and it double missed both times, and so since then I have like been so prone to not using Blizzard outside of Hail. But yeah, I definitely have a pretty prominent ice weakness that I should probably look into with this team. So Tapu Koko is going to come out. That is going to set up the Electric Surge, obviously. I think here I'm actually just going to after you, and I think Eruption still does around the same damage Heat Wave would do, so I don't want to risk missing. So I'm going to after you Eruption here. Gyarados went for a Waterfall last turn, and like that might mean he doesn't even have Taunt on it. If he doesn't have Taunt, that means Lilligant is kind of free to just Sleep Powder away. Right now, Tapu Koko is on the field, so Electric Terrain is up, so I can't put the grounded Pokemon to sleep, but I do have Tapu Bulu in the back, so if Torkoal does faint this turn, which could happen from an Electric-type target from Tapu Koko, then I do get the free switch into Tapu Bulu. It's also going to be Gyarados swapping out here. Garchomp is going to come in. I'm pretty happy to see that, actually, because I've got the Hidden Power Ice on Lilligant, and After You is going to work successfully here onto Torkoal once again. So it's going to be Eruption coming out. And it shouldn't knock out Tapu Koko, but should do a very, very nice amount. Yep. Almost knocks it out, actually. And it's actually the Discharge coming out. So if we see a Paralysis here, that could mean bad news for me. It does knock out Lilligant, or excuse me, Oh, come on! The crit para. Okay. Life Orb damage there on Tapu Koko. I have to bring in Bulu right now. Oh, that's very frustrating. That is very frustrating, but what can you do? That's what happens when you allow yourself to get discharged. I don't think there was too much I could have done to prevent that, honestly, though. And the paralysis matters more than the crit, obviously, but that crit also could hurt. Although paralysis only brings you down to half your speed now, but Lilligant should be slower here, so... My priority is to knock out Tapu Koko right now, though. So I'm just gonna Hidden Power Garchomp and Horn Leech into Tapu Koko, yeah. He's also Life Orb with Tapu Koko, so if he attacks once more, he might actually faint. And I have Salamence in the back, which is a pretty good answer against Garchomp Gyarados. Like, Tapu Bulu plus Salamence, I think, can close this game out anyway, which is why I'm not too concerned right now, but definitely an unfortunate... Oh, he's got Iron Head, though. That's not going to knock me out. Yeah, actually, falls kind of short. It's going to go for a Dazzling Gleam. I wonder if I can survive this with Lilligant. Nope. That's way too much damage there, though. He does faint from Life Orb Require, which is actually pretty great. Hopefully he doesn't flinch with Iron Head. Okay, so I do get this Horn Leech off. And oh my gosh, I almost actually just picked up the knockout outright. Was not expecting that, but that's pretty cool. Because now I'm going to heal. He is going to Rough Skin, obviously, but I do have Lefties and Grassy Terrain as well. And now I get the Intimidate in from Salamence as well. So, that played out okay. And that's why I think, like, if he didn't crit me there with Discharge, maybe I could have been able to survive the Dazzling Gleam, but I'm not going to dwell on that too much. Tapu Bulu, of course, will be intimidated now, so that does hurt me a little bit, but I do have Salamence here. But I think I can just Draco Gyarados. Yeah. So I don't know whether another Iron Head will knock me out after this Intimidate, because the first one did a fair amount, but I don't think another will, if he Iron Heads me, he'll knock me out. And we see Salamence's Intimidate go first, which is also really important. I don't know if Specs Dragon Pulse will knock him out, because Gyarados is typically pretty bulky, so I think the safest play is to just Draco into Gyarados. And do I want to Protect? Because I think I'll survive an Iron Head at -1. So I'll just Horn Leech here, because the fear is if I Protect Tapu Bulu, he could Dragon Claw into Salamence, but he just Iron Heads. Okay, that's fine. Yep, and I hang on. So if I don't miss Draco, I win. Nice. Whew, okay. That was almost really scary, but we ended up pulling through. So, Draco Meteor will come out, we'll target on that Gyarados for the one-hit nuke, and that will be a clean KO. And Hornleech will come out and finish up the job on Garchomp. But yeah, I'm still a little bit frustrated about how I played that first game, honestly. But, you know, it's always good to reflect on your losses. And this game ends up playing out pretty well, honestly. I think the Lilligant Torkoal lead was just kind of overwhelming from the start. And despite a a paralysis and a critical hit onto Lilligant, still able to survive the game and come out with a win. So, definitely a really fun episode for you guys today. And I'll probably look into the ice weakness a little bit. I think, if anything, I just underestimated my Alola Marowak damage calcs. And, you know, maybe he was hoping, like, mentally, oh, Blizzard will probably miss, and even if he doesn't, like, I don't think he'll knock me out, and it ended up being the case where it did pick up the knockout, so, it's something I'll, you know, look into and be a little bit more aware of in the future. Like, don't underestimate a little Marowak, especially when the sun is up. But, that's gonna be it for this one. We do split it 1-1, but 2 really fun games for you guys, I think, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So, that will wrap up this one. As always, leave a like if you did enjoy the episode, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright, peace.